this down. I guess we don't really need to see that. A few questions about the calendar, and I wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page, so I was just going to show that real quick. You can go to any browser you want to. I use Chrome. Obviously, we're all pretty much computer savvy. I use Chrome. You can use Mozilla, or you can use IE, whatever you want to use, you're fine. I have a bookmark for mine, but you can go right to google.com if you're not already there. If you go to google.com, over here in the top right, you'll have a Gmail sign in. Just click sign in. You can see I have mine saved. If you don't have yours saved, what you'll want to do is you'll want to click add account, like that. Now the sign in is urbanmisfitband@gmail.com, and then the password, you won't have this here if it's their first time signing in, but the password is just urbanmisfit. Okay, urbanmisfitband@gmail.com is the email, and that is our email, by the way. So anybody you want to, anytime you want somebody to contact you, just have them email you here. And this is Urban Misfit from here over is the password. Okay. So if you click next, I'm just going to type it in. If I can type. Okay. I'm signed in. So the first thing that's very simple is if you click Gmail, that's going to take you to Gmail. This is where all of our email would come in and out of. So anytime you want to send an email on behalf of the band, compose it from here. And anytime you want to receive an email, like you're giving somebody your email, give them this email address here. Okay. These 9 boxes, and we'll be looking at 2 of them in here. But if you click this, the first thing you can see is the calendar. We're going to go ahead and open the calendar. And this is our calendar. I think it defaults to week. I always look at it by the month, but you can look at it by the week. We'll get to that in a second. And we're going to go ahead and look at October. So you can see we've got a lot of things going on in October already. Okay. You can see like Zach is not available on these days. You can see that we're going to start recording on the 7th, and things like that are coming up. One thing I wanted to mention is that we are set up. The first thing I wanted to mention, is that we're set up in what's known as an agile methodology. So what that means, pretty simply, it's just a fancy term that says the things that you see on here are the due dates. So if they apply to you, then you need to have them done or take the steps to have them done by that day. Okay? So, for example, Corey had a good question. I'll use Corey as an example. He said, we can see here we're starting recording on the 7th. Okay? And then he had a question like, shouldn't we organize our rehearsal spot before the 7th? Which is a great question. But his question applies to what's known as a waterfall, meaning that we would find a spot, make the spot, organize the spot all the way down, like cascading, like a waterfall, all the way up until we get to here. In the agile methodology, in the agile way, it's like, okay, we start recording here, so whatever you need to do or know by here is up to the individual to have done. Okay? So for example, like rehearsal is here. Okay? So it means you got to be here. It's not like at 6:30 on Wednesday, the 7th, we're going to start talking about rehearsal. No, this is when it's due. It's due by this day. So whatever you have to do to get your individual role completed by then is when it's due. So if we look at tomorrow, for example, all you have to do is click it, and you can click edit, and you can see that tomorrow, practice at Matt's house, Corey is going to be absent. It's from 6:30 to 9. There's a map if you want to look at it, and we're using eDrums. It's going to be recorded. Corey can't make it. All the information's in there. Okay, piece of cake. If you need to make an event, I always like to make an event by clicking the week. All you have to do, you can basically, let's say we want to make an event for the 1st. You just click in here and you can just type whatever you want, whatever the issue is, and hit enter, and then click it, and then it brings it up, and then you can change the time to whatever you want it to be, and then put in all your notes. Okay? Very simple to make an event. The only thing, the color convention we have is that if you're not available, please put your not availables in red. Okay? That way we can just real quickly see who's not available and when they're not available. If they're highlighted all the way across, that means they're not available the whole day. Went too far, sorry. If there's like a little box, and you can see that I'm not available from 6 to 9. Okay? So that's that. Another thing about Agile, for example, would be we're changing the words for the song Freedom to Narcissistic Girl. I think Ronnie is writing those words. So let's say we want to start rehearsing Freedom or Narcissistic Girl on the 14th. I'm just pulling this out of the air, but let's say we're going to go ahead and start rehearsing that. Start rehearsal of Freedom Girl, whatever. Then we're going to save that. Okay, so who's ever involved in that, which would be Ron, Zach, and Corey, well, they needed to check their calendar and communicate with each other and know that that's when we're going to start. So the lyrics for that song don't get handed to Zach on the 21st. Okay? Probably want to get them to him tomorrow. So that way we can start it. Remember, this is the due date. This is not the day that it starts. Okay? So anything on here is the day that it's expected to be completed. Okay? So the learning, we're not actually going to write in learning Narcissistic Girl. No, we're just going to put in practice Narcissistic Girl, and it's assumed that everybody's going to have their stuff together for that day. Okay? That's how it works. Real easy to make one. Play around with it. It's really fun. The second thing we're going to look at real quick is the drive. So you got your calendar and you got your drive. The Google Drive is where you will share all of our info. So you can see we've got words and we've got songs. We got our logo, Mr. Fitz, up here. So going back to our Narcissistic Girl example, if you wanted to put that on the drive, all you have to do is just grab it and drag it on over. Like I wanted to